What is happening, everyone? We're back today with another video on the ST. Today we're going to be doing some Powerflex rear axle bushes. We've got some new bolts for everything as well, so hopefully should make it a bit of a nicer job. Just spent some time jacking up the car, making sure it's all secure, because the sill on the driver's side is gonna need doing at some point. It's getting very soft, and I'm starting to struggle to sort of find a place where to put my stands, so might be getting her booked in somewhere at some point. If you have any recommendations, please let me know, because I will be interested, because I will have to get this done at some point before it gets like some of my other projects, let's put it that way. But anyway, back onto the other subject. A lot of you will probably be wondering obviously how we're going to do this today. Obviously you've seen a video of Mend It Mod It using the somewhat of a tool like this to push the bush out. They're okay. I mean, the problem is, as you kept finding, it kept stripping a nut on his video, so we're going to be taking a little bit more of a different approach today. We're not going to be using that tool unless I have to, and if I do, it will probably be off camera and I'll just show you what I did. But what we'll be doing is actually basically destroying the bush, cutting the plastic race, and then inserting these lovely things here. So I'm just going to get the wheels off. You guys don't need to see none of that crap. I'll just put it on a time lapse, and then we'll show you what you guys will need to do. Okay, so wheels are off, car's in the air. Just gonna put the jack up to support this axle a little bit, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, now that's pressurized, we're gonna wiggle ourselves under, and as you can see, let me get a light. Okay, so as you can see, handbrake cable needs to come off. You've got a bolt behind it as well, which is secured by a nut around the other side. It's just about there. And you've got one bolt, another, and another. So all I'm going to do is, that handbrake cable looks a bit knackered, if I'm honest, probably need a new one at some point. We'll just give that a lube up. And do the same with the other side, and then we'll start buzzing some of this stuff off. Right, okay, sorry about that. Just sorting out my lighting setup because I don't really like it. So as you can see, there is meant to be a rubber bush on that, but it is gone. Yeah, it's not very good, so probably a new handbrake cable at some point. But as you can see, you just got to lever it out of that notch right there. And all we're going to do now is just get these bolts off. I'm not going to bother trying to get these off because I can already see they're going to crumble. So I'm just going to lower it down, and then we'll start smashing some things onto it. By the looks of it, they are a 15. But I can tell you now, this is not going to take a 15 because there's a lot of shit on that. Don't buy a seaside car, for God's sake. Should be doing this. Look at the state of that. Fucking hell. Well, at least she's getting new ones today, boys. the taste of rust. Okay, that's one side down. I'm going to get the other one out on the other side. I'm not going to bother filming it, and then I'll show lowering the axle and actually getting this bolt off here on both sides. Okay, so now them bolts are out. As you can see, these ones are a lot easier because it's driver's side. Just lowered the axle down slightly. I've had to give it a little wiggle, and just be careful with the handbrake cables because they try and relocate back into the little groove. And as you can see, that looks like AIDS. Let me put a light there. Not very good at all, so I'm going to probably piss arse around trying to get that off. I don't even want to tell you what size it is, if I'm honest, because that just looks like shit. But yeah, once I got that off on both sides, because it's going to be probably even worse on the passenger side, and we'll go from there. Okay, so sorry for not filming this part of the bolt removal, but it's pretty self-explanatory, just a nut and a bolt, and you can then hopefully wangle this bracket off, get a lever bar. Oh. Get off. Right, there you go. Very rusty, but yeah, see if that's still hot. No, it's cool enough to touch now. I had to literally smash so many different size sockets, and if you can see the edge, I've had to actually burn it with my trusty blowtorch to actually melt the nylock off the nut to be able to get this thing off. It was an absolute bastard, but we've done it, and the lens is dirty, and the passenger side's off as well. Weren't as actually bad, but yeah, glad I got new bolts for this, because this wouldn't have been too fun reusing all this crap, to be fair, because like the thread is non-existent in that. Bolts themselves are okay, but again, you don't really want to be using bolts that have been on there for that long anyway. And not only that, bolts stretch when you tighten them, so they're only going to get weaker and weaker the more you use them. But anyway, that's not the point of having a lesson on how bolts work. Okay, so we're going to be drilling in between. Obviously you've got voids here as well, which ain't attached to anything, but we're going to be drilling all of this bushing out. As you can see, my one ain't bad, but it's a bit cracked and it is starting to go. I'm quite surprised it's this good, to be fair. But as you can see, it is a bit, it's not the greatest. So just going to drill all this out, punch it through, and then we'll show you what to do next. I'll just do this on a time lapse. Okay, so that was a bit of a ball ache, but we've got the centre race out now. And all we're going to do is we're going to get a hacksaw blade through the middle, just make an incision into this plastic race on the outside there, and then we should be able to chisel that and get the rest of it out. So let's just crack on, boys. Got a rough idea now, because some have not as much control over it. In case anyone goes in the comments, why aren't you using the reciprocating? But that's the reason why. Do it on this edge. Stop the blade flexing. Boom! What a sack of old turd, eh? We got it, boys, we got it. Okay, so I'm gonna run and get some sandpaper and just clean out the inside of this. Okay, so that's one bush installed. Much better than the old crap that was in it. So all I'm going to do now is place the nut and bolt inside it with the bracket situated, and then once I've done that, I'm going to go around to the other side, quickly do that side, and then once we're done, it will be a case of showing you how to set these brackets up, because they need to be a certain clearance. You need the clearance between the axle and the actual bracket to be 32mm. So what I'm going to do, get a micrometer, I'll set it to about about 36 odd at the minute. Get a bore, and as you can see, I can't move it side to side. It is bang on 32. Sorry for my unsteady hands, I'll try my other hand. It's really slippery, but yeah, look, I can't move that at all. So I'm happy with that. So let's put that to one side, wind my micrometer back down. Okay, sorry about that. GoPro fell over and the lens smashed, so we'll be having to buy a new lens if we can find one. But that's all back together now. Just quickly go over and do the other side. All I did was just ram a lever bar up here to stop the plate moving too much. That's it really. Let's just go around the other side and crack on. Okay, and that's what we call FT. Remember, there is like a locating lug there. You need to line that up with the actual car itself. Okay, might take a bit of movement back and forwards to get the pivots in line, but as you can see now, all in line. So let's get these bad boys tightened up. And to the this one. Let's check them all again. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm just going to put all the wheels back on, get back together, tidy up, and then we'll have a little recap afterwards. So the car's back together now. We're indoors. It's been a long day. It's been hot. Test drove it because I had to deliver a parcel off to a mate, and it feels so much better. Like, depending on the weather, say like a hot day like today, it would feel sort of, it would grip, but it would sort of feel like it's skating around. And then in the winter,
it feels sort of like a bit like it would skip a bit, obviously where it's trying to just hold its traction. But even just driving normally, it just feels so more planted at the rear and feels like over bumps and divots it used to sort of try and like skate out. It was really weird, but now it just takes them a bit better. Feels a lot more nicer, so it's definitely worth doing. All I'd say is just give yourself a couple hours in a day, give yourself a nice day too, and obviously if you have a rusty old fucking car like mine, give yourself a bit more time too, because you'll have to get those bolts off. But yeah, we're going to have to address that sill on the rear, because that's starting to get quite bad now, which I'm going to save some money up to do. But other than that, we're getting the jobs done, and that's probably going to be my last port of call. Just get the jobs that I've got to be done, so it'll just be basically get the bodywork done, and then I'll get onto the engine. But anyways, guys, enough rambling. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like, give us a comment, and be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you later.